making their way now through turn number 7. 19 USF 2000 machines, the first rung of the Mazda Road to Indy program, joined in the public address booth by the voice of this USF 2000 series, Rob Howden, as we see that Mazda pace car pull off the field. Will begin to grid. Anthony Martin, Victor Franzoni on the front row. We are about to go racing in Toronto.
I tell you, everybody's excited to see how things happen here in the opening corner. We have one of our guests of Allied Building Products, Marty Nozel, is up on the flag stand. He will give us the honorary green flag throw as they work their way up here. We are going to go green this time by, Michael. Asking these drivers to get right at it with cold Cooper tires. It's going to be interesting into turn number 1. As you said, Anthony Martin and Victor Franzoni. Row 1, here they come, folks, through turn number 11. We are about to go racing at this year's down into turn number 1 for the first time. Victor Franzoni to the inside. First time down the back straightaway now. Franzoni was able to get the move to the inside, but I don't think he was able to hold it. We'll see as they work their way down to the braking zone. No, indeed, it is Franzoni, your leader. Victor Franzoni for Arms Up Motorsports takes the lead. Great start for Franzoni. He goes to P1. Martin slips into the 2nd position. Thompson goes to 3rd. I want to say it's Jordan Lloyd now up into the 4th position. Dakota Dickerson goes to 5th. Good start for the young rookie out of San Diego, California. Dickerson in the Mazda Speed Soul Red machine for Afterburner Autosports, capping off your early top 5. Michael, pretty solid run here and a great start for Victor Franzoni as he's able to get the lead into 1.
Yeah, Franzoni with a great start, as you said, on the outside as he came around the Anthony Martin machine. Martin let him go. He did the wise thing as we got a long race ahead of us. But the one thing I'm surprised at is that Victor Franzoni stepped out to a 5-car length. Having problems with the public address system, but back to my point, Franzoni has checked out, and then you've got Anthony Martin, Parker Thompson, and we got 3 wide going on into turn number 3.
Pretty crazy further back, folks. That's 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, all battling together. Move to the inside. Dickerson trying to hold on. He's lost a couple of spots right now because the man on the move, I think, is Luke Gavin. Gavin able to go up there in that number 91 as they were able to swallow up Dakota Dickerson. A minor error for Dickerson puts him back a little bit into the clutches of the drivers behind him. So at this point, again, it is Gavin up into 5th. I believe it's Cameron Dawson, the number 92, up into the 7th position, or 6th, 5th, and 6th, rather, respectively, as they're now settling into this battle. Dickerson fell back behind the 92 of Cameron Dawson. Here's a battle further back as Robert McGinnis. Remember, he started well back in the field in the 20th position. He has now worked his way up into 14th already, so a pretty good start for Robert McGinnis. Everybody's settling in now, though, as the battle. Some issues with our public address system, folks. We apologize for that. Those of you listening live on the Mazda Road to Indy app, we're thrilled that you guys are tuning in with us. We'll get this dialed in for you here. But again, USF 2000 underway. Franzoni with the early lead in that number 9.
Anthony Martin starting to close in. Boy, he really closed the gap going into turn number 3. There you see Franzoni, Anthony Martin, then Parker Thompson, and Jordan Lloyd with a great battle for 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, that's for 3rd position. Jordan Lloyd, remember, he wrecked his car aggressively. He actually hammered the wall on turn 11 on the opening lap of Friday morning practice. Not even one lap in the books, and he drilled it, absolutely destroyed his car. They were able to rent a car from John Comiskey Racing, and in fact, Lloyd actually had driven that chassis earlier last year when he did a couple of USF 2000 races, but he is behind the wheel of this car here and is really pedaling it right now, putting a lot of pressure on Parker Thompson. Thompson runs 3rd. As they roll by us here at Thurman, is Lloyd in the 4th spot. 5th is Gavin. 6th is Ricard. 7th is Don. Nikita Listoshkin in 8th. Dakota Dickerson falls back into 9th position, and Yufeng Luo up to 10th. Look at this battle. Here comes Anthony Martin. He's going to try the outside. Not enough around the outside of turn number 3. Martin starting to put some pressure on Franzoni.
And not only did he put the pressure on, he tried to make Franzoni to make a mistake right through there. So Franzoni, as he came out of turn number 3, swept wide. So Martin tried to capitalize on that, get back to the inside. Still a great battle for third between Parker Thompson and Jordan Lloyd. There are the two leaders as they make their way through turn number 7. Now turn number 8, Victor Franzoni, a half a second lead. Now down to just less than a car length.
You know, interesting, you look at Franzoni, people think that he's like the elder statesman. He's been here for 3 years. He's only 19 years of age.
Exactly.
He's still got a lot of career in front of him, doing what he can. A limited budget for Victor, but massive on talent as he leads here in the Arms Up Motorsports car. First, second, third, and fourth come rolling through. Luke Gavin now able to pull away a little bit. Good battle at the tail of the top 10 as well as Dakota. So Dickerson and Luo, the battle here for the final positions inside the top 10. Good scrap between the rookie Dickerson and the second-year driver Yufeng Luo, also the reigning SCCA Formula Continental champion, won the title at Daytona.
Oh, and Jordan Lloyd all over the rear wing of Parker Thompson. The young driver from Red Deer, Alberta, has his hands full of Jordan Lloyd. Looks to the inside, now to the outside. The battle for third ensues at turn number 7. We'll see who gets the advantage down into turn number 8. Jordan Lloyd will begin to look to the inside. No, he'll keep that line behind Parker Thompson, but putting all kinds of pressure on that young Canadian.
And that's it. Lots of time left. A 30-minute timed race. Lots of time left here. Jordan's just trying to keep the pressure up, keep pounding on Parker to see if he'll make a little bit of an error. One slip up will open the door. USF 2000, the opening run of the Mazda Road to Indy. The champion of this series will win a fully paid scholarship to run in the Pro Mazda Championship presented by Cooper Tires in 2017. That scholarship worth well over $400,000. A huge prize for the champion of the program. Point leader right now, Anthony Martin in the number 8 for Cape Motorsports. Put the car on the pole position in qualifying. Got a bonus point there to pull a 1-point lead over Parker Thompson.
Oh, we've got a pass for third. Here comes Jordan Lloyd to the inside. He got the pass over Parker Thompson. Nice move by Jordan Lloyd.
Jordan Lloyd to the inside at the end of the back straightaway. You can book it, and he is through. Third place for Jordan Lloyd, the young Aussie. The Canadian Thompson runs in fourth. In fact, Australians, 3 Australians in the top 5. We know we have a great group of loyal followers back in Australia, down under, listening to the broadcast here. And again, we are streaming live video and live audio on the Mazda Road to Indy app. You can also listen on the race control page at IndyCar.com, and we're thrilled, of course, to have it on USF2000.com. You can hook up and listen to it and watch the coverage anywhere in the world as we continue to develop this Mazda Road to Indy. Jordan Lloyd now past Thompson, going to set out and see if he can reel in Anthony Martin. I like this battle as well, too. 7th, 8th, and 9th. Dickerson, Doss, and Luo all in a good fight there as well.
Nice shout out to Luke Gavin, who made that move, but it went 3 wide, I believe, the second time by. Once he got around, not able to check out, as we have a pass for the lead. Anthony Martin to the outside.
Oh, Martin tried the outside at turn number 3. You see that car push when he got into the apex of the corner. He almost put it in the tires on the exit. Anthony Martin being very aggressive here. We expected to see a little better patience, but I think he knows he has a good race car. He wants to get out in front of Franzoni as soon as he possibly can. They have a pretty good little advantage of almost 5 seconds over Jordan Lloyd. So this is going to be a 2-horse race here, I believe. Unless, of course, we see a full course yellow come out for any incident on the racetrack. If we go green to checker, this one's going to be between Franzoni and Martin to see who steps to the top rung of the podium.
Every time Franzoni comes out of 11, you see him look to the mirrors because he knows Anthony Martin is there. Nice pass by Jordan Lloyd. Now gaps himself for Parker Thompson. So it's Franzoni, Martin, Lloyd, Thompson, Gavin, your top 5.
You know, the funny thing, Michael, though, of the entire lineup, the guy that's not going to make a mistake is Victor Franzoni. He's just such a veteran. He's so calm. He's so relaxed.
And what I've been very impressed about it, and you say Franzoni doesn't make mistakes, He's not blocking. He's allowing Anthony Martin to take that non-traditional line. He knows Martin can't make the pass on that outside. He allows him to do that, and then he's able to pull away again.
Yeah, Victor Franzoni, just such a poised, great young individual. When we have our autograph session for USF 2000, make sure you come over and say hi to these guys. Victor's just such a personable young kid out of Brazil, a fan favorite, and of course a paddock favorite as well. Just a great young pilot. He's won on the USF 2000 trail 3 times in his career, looking to get race win number 4 here as he leads Martin. They have a 5.2 second advantage over the duo of Lloyd and Thompson. And then we have Gavin all by himself. He's trying to reel him in, but not running the same speeds as those leaders. So at this point here, oh, full course yellow. Full course yellow, an incident in turn number 1. Wow. Incident in turn 1, full course yellow, number 15. That's Brendan Puderbach. Puderbach in the national class backed it into the wall, I believe. So, Michael, we have a brand new race. The Hamatro safety crew rolling through as the field now coming around here. They're slowing them up, and they'll find their way through the area. Oh, a couple drivers coming in way too hot. That was Ricards who went in too hot, had to go to the outside. These guys need to slow themselves down. We're going to have a wreck here. Full course yellow being thrown. A couple of drivers carrying too much speed through the corner. One of them had to go to the outside of the Hamaltro safety truck, and I guarantee you, the race director is going to want to have a chat with that pilot. Coming too hot into a yellow zone, I would not be surprised to see a penalty come out. But to give you the overview of what we've seen here, the number 15 of Brendan Puderbach was running in the 18th position. Looks like he just overcooked it coming through turn 1. And Michael, we've talked about how slippery that concrete patch is, and we've seen a couple guys go around there throughout the weekend. I expect that's exactly what happened. He's got left rear damage, wing damage. He probably just spun it around, backed it into the wall.
Frustrated with himself. You saw him shaking his head there in the cockpit before he got out. Frustration, and he knew he made a mistake. I just would like to comment on yesterday how you had said the Indy Lights, there hadn't been any incident, and usually when you say something like that, it jinxes the program.
Yeah, it didn't.
When you just said, if we go green in the end, and I wanted to say, well, you might have just jinxed this entire
and
race.
I did, didn't I?
You may have potentially have done that. But this will give us a brand new race, and I think what'll be interesting now, you've got Anthony Martin, who's running P2, Victor Franzoni in command since turn number 1. But Jordan Lloyd's got a very fast race car as well.
And Luke Gavin.
And Luke Gavin as well. So now those cars that are running Lloyd in 3rd, Gavin in 5th, they're in touch with the leaders again. This will become very racy, this restart down into 1.
I didn't want to do that. I really didn't want to jinx them.
Well, you said it. I almost stopped you from saying it, and there you go.
We're going back to green right now, folks. Here they come onto the front straightaway again. The green flag will fly at start finish, and we are underway. Back at it, as Michael said. We go back to green. It resets everybody, gives them a chance to get by. Everybody stacking it back up one more time. And again, how good are the drivers on cold tires when they get back on the throttle? Tires still up to temperature. We were only at slow speed one time. The Hamaltro safety crew doing an amazing job to get the car of Puderbach behind the wall so we can go right back to green. So kudos to them. And here we go, coming down into turn number 3. Here goes Parker Thompson to the inside. Book it. He's through. Parker Thompson takes 3rd place away from Jordan Lloyd. The Canadian attacks again in the number 2. He retakes the 3rd position. So Thompson capitalizing on this yellow flag situation, this yellow flag restart to be able to get back into 3rd position. Leaders again stretched away as they did earlier. Franzoni and Martin trying to pull away, and again Thompson slides into it. Lloyd goes to the 4th position. Gavin 5th. Ricards in 6th. Listoshkin, Duo, Das, and Dickerson. How do they play out, though, after the opening lap? Chaos will give you a top 10 as they roll back by us here again. Franzoni, Martin, 1-2. Thompson, Lloyd, and Gavin, 3-4-5. Ricard, 6th. Listoshkin, 7th. Luo, Das, and Dickerson. Indeed, no, Dickerson gets by Cameron Das, so Dakota Dickerson, the young rookie, able to move his way into the 18th position, pick up on that Soul Red Mazda-sponsored car. Dickerson out of San Diego, the P9.
Rough restart for Jordan Lloyd. Parker Thompson able to get around him, but now Lloyd right there sitting in P4 as we have a battle for the lead again. Anthony Martin right underneath that rear wing. But hats off to Parker Thompson, the young Canadian with a nice move, patient, got a good jump off of turn number 11 and able to regain that third position.
And took it with authority. Put the car to the bottom of the racetrack, got into the apex of turn number 3 and let the car drift a little bit, just enough so he knew that Jordan wasn't coming back inside him, but he was going to be able to have enough forward bite coming out of that corner. And that's always tough coming out of the turn number 3. It is that concrete patch. You got to be real ginger getting back on the throttle or the car will go around on you.
So the field making their way through the final complex, the new complex, turns 9, 10, and 11. The machines clean thus far as Victor Franzoni with a 4-car length advantage over Anthony Martin.
Watching him into turn number 1 now. You can see Thompson's been able to get rid of Lloyd. He's been able to stretch away now. And in fact, Luke Gavin closing in on Jordan Lloyd a little bit. We'll keep watching their lap times. Good fight further back there between McGuinness and Kane. Robert McGuinness and Jordan Kane both started as teammates this year at Team Pelfrey. Kane elected to move to Cape Motorsports with Wayne Taylor Racing. So this is the battle between these two rookies now who are with different teams. And a great job from McGuinness. Remember, he started 19th up to 12th now, but the battle's still continuing. We're like what we're seeing here. McGuinness actually by Kane at the end of the straightaway, so Robert McGuinness now into 11th. But watching an unbelievable battle for the lead as Franzoni again goes on the defensive to try to hold off Martin.
I think Listoshkin might have got around Rickards as well, so a nice pass for Nikita Listoshkin. Franzoni still in command. Anthony Martin, Parker Thompson, Jordan Lloyd, Luke Gavin, they are your top 5. But as you said, Rob Howden, Anthony Martin is coming down a 2-car length.
I'll tell you, Parker Thompson's not done yet either. Parker's starting to close back up a little bit here. He was quicker last time by 0.4 of a second. Thompson's coming in the number 2. The Canadian fans would love to see a win by their countryman, and Parker Thompson at number 2 trying to reel in Martin, his teammate here. You can see him visibly closer on the back straightaway, coming down to turn number 3. Thompson on a charge.
Equal gap nearly. Now Anthony Martin closes it. He really does a great job breaking into turn number 3. That's that gap that you see closes tremendously as Anthony Martin breaks hard and late into turn number 3. Closes in on the rear wing of Victor Franzoni. Parker Thompson, as you said, I think these Canadian fans would love to see the Red Deer, Alberta native make it to not only the podium, but maybe get himself on that top step and visibly closer. He is closing in on the rear wing of Anthony Martin as well. So we're going to have a 3-car battle here in about a lap or 2.
We are. The cars are coming together. These cars decide to come in. The way they set these chassis up is they want to come in a little bit later in the race. And you don't want it to be too good too early, otherwise you're going to have a handful at the end of the race. So these cars just starting to get good for these drivers. Watching the remainder of the pilots come through, it looks like Nikita Listoshkin had a bit of a loose car. Indeed, I think Listoshkin's out of the race. Nikita Listoshkin, I believe. We've lost him. I think trouble for Nikita Listoshkin. I want to say potentially a broken suspension piece. You could see him come into the braking zone at turn 8, and the car was skating all over on him. He was running in the 6th position, so that moves everyone up. Luo goes to 6th, Ricard's to 7th, Dickerson to 8th, McGuinness now up into the top 10 from 19th to 9th, and Cameron Doss in the number 92 in the 10th position. A tough one, of course, for Listoshkin, Michael. He was having a really good run.
Yeah, he was. He made that pass on Rickards a little bit earlier down in turn number 3. Actually, it was down in turn number 1 and then was able to really gap himself by the time he got to turn number 3. A nice job for him. Unfortunately, the day over as we watch the leaders make their way through turn number 7. Now entering turn number 8, Victor Franzoni. Same gap back to Anthony Martin. Boy, Martin was really, he was working that wheel.
Yellow flag, Martin's in the wall. I bet you Martin's in the wall on the exit of that corner. He came in there too tight. I want to see. Oh, he might have taken Parker Thompson. No, here's Thompson's through. So trouble for Anthony Martin. I got to say he's in the wall of the exit of turn number 8. Oh, yeah, yellow flag flying. We're not seeing it. The number 8 of Martin in the wall. Holy championship implications. Everything just changed. Full course yellow. Oh, I'd love to see an angle on that. We saw Anthony Martin kind of trying to get into the corner, Michael, into turn 8 on the bumps, trying to turn. The rear end started coming around on him, and he was probably 10 feet from the apex where he needed to be. That car just was way outside, and we know the angle there.
Yeah.
It's not going to keep you on the racetrack.
You would have probably used the runoff area had this been a practice session, but being a race, Anthony Martin was holding on for dear life, a tire barrier, actually tires and the concrete out there. And as we had watched him enter turn number 8, you saw he had a handful and not even close to that apex.
And then we saw the yellow.
And we saw the yellow immediately following that. The corner workers doing a great job, and I think they were even aware it was going to be a tough ride for Anthony Martin when he came through there as late as he did. But now it puts Parker Thompson in a great position to potentially get around Victor Franzoni.
You think Parker Thompson's got the hands just ringing in the steering wheel going, let me at him, let me at him. He was closing up on that front-running duo. He was going to have to go by his teammate, Anthony Martin. And when you go by a teammate or you go by another competitor, you usually do it a little bit differently. You know, you're being told, of course, on the radio, do not wreck your teammate. Do not wreck our team cars. When it comes to going by someone else who's not part of your team, you may be a little more aggressive. Now we're getting a look here, better shot. That was, it looks to me like he just nosed it straight into the tires, and they've been able to push him out of the tires now. But just, I want to say something. I wonder if something broke as well. Lastoshkin, something happened to him. He came in early. I wonder if there was an issue in that car. I don't know. I hope not.
Well,
but nonetheless, the result's the same. He's in the wall.
And as you had said, Rob, the championship implication.
Oh, my goodness. This thing throws everything wide open because remember, as we talked about it, coming into this race, Anthony Martin had won the last 3 races. He won the Friday before the 500, the Carb Night Classic. He won at Lucas Oil Raceway on the oval. He went to Road America and dominated. No one could run with him. He was the outright leader, won both races 3 in a row. And in fact, 4 of the last 5 races were won by Anthony Martin. He pulled to a tie for the lead in the points with Parker Thompson. He gets a bonus point for pole here today, so he pulls out by 1 point. But now he's going to find himself finishing down in the 16th position. When you talk about championships and how close they are, Michael, you've been around this Mazda Road Indy as long as I have. We've seen so many championships come down to 1 point. And we always say you look back to that one race or that one mistake you made in the opening corner, whatever it may be. If Martin doesn't win this championship, he's going to look back to what happened here today and just missing the apex in turn number 8.
So we get set for a restart. You see the cleanup continuing at the exit of turn number 8. We are under caution for the second time this morning. Anthony Martin in the tire barrier again at the exit of turn number 8. Your top 5, Franzoni, Thompson, Lloyd, Gavin, and Luo. McGinnis, Rickards, Dickerson, Doss, Kane round out your top 10. And the thing that has impressed me most in that first restart, as Parker Thompson fell to 4th, was that he was able to get around Jordan Lloyd with the great restart. He's going to need a super great restart to have a shot to get around Victor Franzoni because Franzoni's good, but Parker Thompson has a shot.
All 3 of these top drivers here, very talented individuals, as is Gavin and Luo. For me, the guy that I've been watching and so impressed with right now is Robert McGinnis, the young 16-year-old driver out of New York for Team Pelfrey. He started 19th position, and when you start that far back, you have to have that mixture of patience and aggression. You know it's a long race. You want to get as far forward as you possibly can. You hope for a couple of yellows. He was able to get into the top 15, then the top 12, then finds himself in 10th. And then with all the shakedown here in this last little bit, now he's right on the rear wing of Yufeng Liu. He's in 6th position, 19th to 6th for Robert McGinnis. Wow. Super impressed with what he's been able to do today.
And the great thing about that run, you don't have that opportunity to make more passes if it stays green. These 2 cautions have helped, and now he's got the opportunity to really recover from that qualification session and get a good finish out of this.
If we have a race that goes from green flag to checker with no yellows, you're going to work your way forward, but sooner or later you're going to come up to a gap of 6 or 7 seconds, and there's just absolutely no way that you're going to be able to close up that much. You're never a full second faster than everybody.
We'll go green next time by. Cleanup has finished. And an unfortunate end of the day in race number 1 for Anthony Martin. Found himself in the tire barriers. We saw that entrance as he was closing in on the rear wing of Victor Franzoni. Ripped that suspension up, and the Anthony Martin machine is done. He will finish 16th in race number 1. And again, those championship implications. And what could have been for Anthony Martin, clearly one of the fastest machines here in the USF 2000 race number 1. So Victor Franzoni, Parker Thompson, Jordan Lloyd, Luke Gavin, Yufeng Liu. The field making their way through turn number 6. We will go green this time, and for Victor Franzoni, He's so good. Just a good restart here. Parker Thompson has to be able to react as soon as a split second before Franzoni goes. Parker's got to get on that
And
throttle.
so if you're in the grandstands in turn number 3, get ready.
Oh, yeah.
This is when it's going to have to happen. We have 6 minutes to go. We're going to go green this time by. The pace car is ducked off into pit lane. Franzoni will lead him onto the front straightaway. Thompson, if he wants to win this, needs to get a good run through 1, 2, and try him in turn number 3. Here they are, folks. Oh, look at Franzoni going to go back and forth a bit, cleaning them tires off as they're going to bring him around. Turn 3 will be the first opportunity for Thompson. Right on his gearbox as they work their way through, and we are back at it. Green, green, green. Coming down into turn number 1. Everyone else staying to the bottom. Franzoni to the top. Thompson gets a good run through. Excellent run there for Lloyd as well, but he goes to the bottom of the track to try to hold off Luke Gavin, who's on a charge as well. Gavin trying to put the number 91 up onto the podium. Here they come down the back straightaway. Franzoni's right there. Thompson, oh, he's got a huge gap, though. Thompson did not get a good run through 1 or 2. He has a huge gap. He's going to lose the position to Jordan Lloyd. He's going to push him to the inside. Lloyd's going to overcook it. He locks up the right front. They come through. In fact, Thompson losing a position as Lloyd able to get back by him. Good start there, Michael.
McGinnis with a nice pass. Got around Luo down there in turn number 3. So move McGinnis up to P5. He's working on the rear wing of Luke Gavin right now. Nice restart for McGinnis.
Less than 5 minutes remaining here in USF 2000. I'm going to say maybe 3-4 laps. Garth Ricard's in the number 22. I think a stop and go for Garth. As I said, he was the driver that went around the outside of the Hamaltro safety crew. They're not going to like that at all, so they parked Ricard's, I'm going to say. That's an assumption. I'll get a confirmation on that later. But again, here's the battle. Thompson has fallen back into the 3rd position, not able to capitalize on the restart. Gavin in 4th. McKenna's 5th. 6th position is Luo. 7th is Dickerson. 8th is Kane. 9th is Dawson. 10th. A solid run here for Lucas Cole. 3, 4 wide near the tail of the field as well. McCusker, Otis, Stevens, and Cole battling it out.
Victor Franzoni with a perfect restart. Parker Thompson not able to get that jump, and then Jordan Lloyd around him. And it's one thing Victor Franzoni wanted to see was a bad restart for Parker Thompson, and with Jordan Lloyd getting around him in turn number 3, overcooking the brakes there, locking up those tires, that just gaps Franzoni even more.
Indeed, and here's a good battle side by side. Jordan Kane going at it with Cameron Dawson, the number 92. They were side by side through 4, side by side through 5. The 2 drivers battling it out for 8th and 9th, side by side, all the way through. Finally, I believe, Kane able to slide through. Indeed, Kane able to get by Doss as they work their way through. So that's 8th and 9th.
Well, you can tell them they can't do that all day long, but as long as there's room on that racetrack and they can squeeze 2 cars through.
They're going to try.
Just look at that lead, though. Franzoni is gapped now over 1.5 seconds for Victor Franzoni.
He got a really good start, stacked him up nicely coming out of turn number 11, and was able to get a really good run through turn number 1. He didn't block to the bottom. He ran the racing line, and that allowed him to get as much run as he could coming through. Little brake lock up there, right front lock up for the number 91 at Gavin as McGinnis now coming on. Robert McGinnis started in the 19th position in that yellow and black team Pelfrey entry, number 80. He is up into 5th spot. What a run for the young 16-year-old today.
You made a great point earlier about turn 1 as we see the Peterbaugh machine earlier. You watch those cars go through turn number 1. It's so light, so nimble as Luke Gavin's starting to close in on Parker Thompson a little bit. But every one of those cars just hustling their way through turn number 1. You can see the back ends wanting to step out. They really have to muscle their way through.
You have to point the car to where you want it to go because once it gets to the concrete, you're not in control anymore. It just slides across the concrete, and once it gets back to the asphalt, that's when you regain control of the car, like you'll have if you slide on black ice up here in Canada. You have to wait till you get back to the concrete. That's what it's, or back to the asphalt. That's what it's like over here in turn number 1. You have to place the car, put it in the right direction, and then hope you can save it every time you get to the other side.
Commanding drive for Victor Franzoni, the closing stages of race number 1. Minute 54, we'll see the white flag next time by.
Time winding down, about a minute and a half to go. We're going to see the white flag next time by. It's almost a 2-second advantage for Victor Franzoni. It's Arms Up Motorsports out of Wisconsin looking to get their first win of the year here. John Walco, the race engineer for Franzoni. Really high on this young kid, the Brazilian, 19 years of age. This kid has won before, and he has done it with a couple of teams. Impressive to see what he's going to be able to do here today. A minute remaining. They'll see the white flag next time by. Franzoni, Lloyd, Thompson, Gavin, and McGinnis, your top 5.
Well, you thought he'd get a little more racy after that restart, but Franzoni has checked out. Once Lloyd got by Parker Thompson, the gap's back from 1st to 5th. There are really no battles right there as we see Luke Gavin trying to close in a little bit on Parker Thompson. The number 22 coming by for the final time. They'll get the white flag this time by as the field makes their way through. Here's Victor Franzoni. A 2-second lead over Jordan Lloyd for the final time.
About the best battle on the racetrack right now is Dakota Dickerson in the number 18 trying to close up on Yufeng Luo. He's back by just a half a second. Cameron Das a half a second back as well, as Das able to get back around Jordan Kane. So Cameron Das up to 8th, Jordan Kane 9th, and Lucas Cole in the 10th position. Dickerson has set a half a second behind Yufeng Luo to try to go for 6th. But otherwise, down the straightaway, Michael, into turn number 3. From here, not too far home for Victor Franzoni.
And as you said, Victor Franzoni does not make mistakes. 6 more turns, and he will come home victorious. Race number 1 of the USF 2000 Series here at the Honda Indy Toronto. There you see the top 5. Luke Gavin and Robert McGinnis rounding out the top 5 for the final time. Victor Franzoni pilots his machine through turn number 8. Here it comes.
Folks, we're looking for our 5th different winner on the year. Jordan Lloyd and Yufeng Luo were able to win at St. Petersburg. Parker Thompson and Anthony Martin winning everything since. But here he comes onto the front straightaway. Your winner in USF 2000, race number 1 in Toronto, Victor Franzoni. Victor Franzoni ends up is the winner by 2.2 seconds. Jordan Lloyd in 3rd. You can see them pump down there on pit lane.